Hello, 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 and good evening and welcome to our Own Your Mic conference. I hope you're doing so well. Yes, 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 yes. Please, if you're here, say something in the comment section so that I know that you're here. Tonight is another wonderful night for us to hear from amazing women. Say something in the comment section. Welcome. I'm sorry we came up a little bit late. Say something in the comment section and we'll, we'll kick off immediately. Welcome, 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 welcome to tonight. I hope you can see me clearly. Trying to set my lights. Yes, okay. Okay. So, good evening. Okay, do not worry. You're welcome. All of you, you're welcome. Please, can somebody alert other members of the community that we're here? Alert other members of the community that we are here. We are here. We are here. Our first speaker tonight is Model Precious. So every other person, please, this is an international conference. You know, I have said it, it's an international conference. If you are not looking international, please do not come live. If you are not looking like somebody who is speaking on a global platform, please do not come live. So it's an international conference. Those of you who you came for a global conference, please wear my earrings, dressed up like I'm speaking in a global conference, okay? Good. So click the link so that Precious, Precious, you need to click the link now because you're the So number one, you need to understand that this is a platform and this is actually an opportunity for you to launch yourself, an opportunity for you to do something that you have never done before or something that is not the norm for you. So once you see opportunities like this, seize it. Listen, nothing is as difficult as it first appears. Nothing is as difficult as it first appears. No matter your fears, confront them. Confront your fears. If you don't confront your fears will limit you. And not only will they limit you, for some of us here, mothers, we have children. Your children will also somehow be influenced by the fear that you display because you are a role model to your children. And this is what I tell women. I tell women you are a role model. You're mentoring your children. And the life that you live will rub off on your kids. So it's fears, limitations that you see in your life, that you seize every opportunity that you have to start working on yourself. Okay, so I'm waiting for Precious. Precious, you are, see, for everyone who is scheduled for tonight, if you do not show up, that's the end. You won't have another opportunity, except for those who took permission like ahead of time. So once you miss it, you've missed it. Except you took permission. Okay. Okay, fantastic. So, like I said, this is a global conference, and Everyone who is speaking here, God has given you a voice. I need you to know that God has given you a voice and that there's something God wants you to say to the world. If you keep quiet, you're actually going to be denying a lot of people the value that you carry. If you keep quiet, remember, I keep saying this, that you are a role model to people around you and to your children, to your world. If you keep we all have our fears, but if you are in a community and environment that encourages you to break free and do the things that you have not done before, then you are blessed. Do you get? So tonight we're going to welcome Precious Aduku Benson. Precious, you're going to introduce yourself. I'm bringing on Precious now. So please get your writing materials and everything ready. Okay, so this is Precious. Precious, you're welcome. Good evening. How are you doing?
Good evening, ma'am. I'm fine.
Hope you're fine.
Yes, I am.
Okay, so Precious, this is the International Global Own Your Mind Conference, and we're about 20,000 women here in a stadium. Forget, a lot of women are sitting in different parts of the stadium, and you're here to deliver a teaching in 10 minutes that will spark up something. We need to know how you want to be a blessing to the world. So I'm actually going to leave right now, and so that you own the stage. Introduce yourself and tell us what you'll be sharing with us now. God bless
you. Okay. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you for this opportunity. Good evening, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, anywhere you're streaming from. Welcome to the Global Conference. It's a pleasure to be in your midst. My name is Precious Benson. I'm a behavior specialist. I'm a special educationist, and I work with children with special needs, and children with disabilities of every kind. So today, tonight, I'll be privileged to speak to us on what special needs children, who special needs children are, and why they are called special needs children. Okay, so I'm going to start. So you may ask yourself, who are these special needs children and why are they called special needs children? So simply put, special needs children are individuals with disabilities. Okay, so individual with disabilities. So they are also individuals who require additional support and accommodations to address their unique challenges and disabilities. So these children need some additional support to address different kinds of challenges. Also, these children, we can actually identify, okay, these children, during the, maybe let's assume, okay, during the conception of their birth, during delivery, the period where their mother were pregnant, and then during delivery. During that period, maybe there was what do I call it? There was a challenging behavior. There was when a woman noticed that that something was not just right in their body, maybe during the pregnancy, during delivery, and let's assume there was a prolonged labor, you understand, and maybe there was a lot of complications after birth or during the birth. So you now notice that there are some, let me use the word, maybe abnormalities found in this child. So these are the children we call special needs children. So I'm going to be listing out the various types of special needs that we have. It might not be all of them, maybe just some part of some of the special needs that individuals may have. So we have what we call, I'm going to list them down, and then when I'm done, I can now break them down to our understanding. So we have autism spectrum disorder, we have intellectual disabilities, we have specific learning disabilities, we have sensory processing disorder, we have speech and language disorder, we have physical disabilities, we have emotional and behavior disorder. So when we talk about autism, that's autism spectrum disorder, what do we mean? Now, it can be refers to group of developmental disorder that are characterized by impairment. So you can see it actually in 3 impairments. So when a child has deficits in 3 impairments, it could be social, it could be communication, deficits in social skills, and maybe deficit in behavior. Now, if you talk about communications, you may be asking yourself, what are the things you can actually notice in communication of these children? So now maybe you observe, or maybe you notice that this child may not use verbal language as a means of communication. So there is no words, no speech. Some of them have speech, you understand, but most of them have speech, most of them doesn't have speech. And then you may have some of them have difficulty in understanding or processing language or communication, you understand. And then some of them may use same words or phrases over and over and over again. You notice that some children use same words, same phrases, they repeat them, more like a repetitive behavior, same speech of over and over and over. Then you have someone that some people, children who may respond to you, who may respond the question being asked by repeating the question you ask them, rather than answering the questions, you understand. And then maybe students who find it very difficult to take instructions. So when you spell out instructions, they find it very difficult to follow up and then to process the instructions. So these are some deficits you can actually find. Some of them, this is not all, they can actually find in communication. So we're going to be looking at some deficits that we can actually see in social skills. So when a child lacks these social skills, what do you see? So maybe you can see a child that has limited eye contact, so not being able to look at you. So when you call a child, the child might actually hear you, but it will take a child maybe a long time for the child to even turn to look at you. Or maybe you're talking to or speaking to this child and the child is not even looking at you. So it's that they are gazing, they're looking in the space, in the air, or they're looking at somewhere else. So they can never maintain eye contact with you. Then we have, these children have other children. There is no interest at all in interacting with other children. This is another deficit you can actually found. Then you can actually see they enjoy solitary play, what we call solitary play or parallel play. Now, put this child in the midst of his or her parents. The child will prefer to play alone, or the child is actually in the midst of his or her parents, but he wants to be. In fact, he's playing side by side. So they find it very difficult to initiate play among their peers. They find it very difficult to respond to play when their fellow peers even show them the play. They find it very difficult to respond to the play. So they may ignore you when you speak. So you see, when you're talking to this child, you say, hello, how are you? The child is actually walking away or doing something else. So these are some skill and deficits you can actually find in this social skill. And some of them might actually be aloof. They are in the environment, but they are totally lost. You understand? So they cannot, in fact, they will not they will not be able to notice or be able to know what is happening in their environment. So you see them, they might even bump into objects. You understand? They may bump into things. They may actually be walking around and then you see them, maybe there are some things on the table. The child is just, he or she is there and you see them, they just mistakenly or consciously on their own scatter the whole things on the table and throw it on the floor. So these are the things. So they are aloof. When you mean aloof, they don't even understand what is happening in their environment. So you can call them 100 times, no response from them. You understand? So I'm going to be running through. So when you have behavior, deficits in behavior. So you have these children, they engage in what we call stereotypical behaviors or restricted pattern. They play in a certain way. So you can see a child decide to line up objects. The pattern the child plays is can decide to gather shoes, or maybe same object, or maybe different kinds of objects, and line them in a parallel way. So if you actually remove anything that this child has actually arranged, the child is going to be on, as in, will not be at rest. So the child might actually follow you all over wherever you're going to, may be angry. So it will actually lead to aggression, some kind of challenging behavior, aggression, SIB, what we call self-injurious behavior. So you see these children, they can actually inflict, or maybe when they actually have a wound on their body, you see them, they keep digging on the wound, so they don't feel pain. So they can actually give themselves self-injurious behavior. So let's say the aggression comes up, you see a child head banging or head booting, banging the head on the floor. So they might not be feeling that pain. So these are actually self-injurious behavior. So they, if in your own self, you will actually be shouting or crying while the child is actually doing that, but he or she does not understand what is happening to them. So in behavior, you will see that kind of challenging behavior. You will see tantrum. They throw tantrum as slightly as any slightly opportunities, or any little thing upsets them is a behavior. Then you have food selectivity. They can select, most of them, not all, can actually select. In fact, it's not all food that are good for them. There are some, they eat voraciously, they eat like there is a hole in them and all that in their stomach. So it's as if the more they eat, nothing is entering. They want to eat, so they keep eating at every point in time. So this actually for ASD, autism spectrum disorder. So we have intellectual disabilities. So this affects the ways some of them learn. So intellectual disabilities has to do with the lack of cognitive, when there is deficit in cognitive, in adaptive behavior, adaptive skills, fine motor skills. So these children, they can actually possess, in fact, as tiny as they cannot actually process anything at all. So when you have children with intellectual disabilities, so we have specific learning disabilities. This is where you actually have children with dyslexia, dysgraphia, dyscalculia, you understand. So these children actually, most of them cannot solve maths. They find it very difficult. So it looks as if they cannot even read. So when you give them a book to read, it looks as if the books are jumping or they are flying on the book. So that's actually how they see it or view it. You understand? So it's actually called specific. They learn in a certain way. You understand? So, and they will also need they are going to be needing what I call the required specialized intervention and accommodation to learn, to thrive, and all that. So we have sensory processing disorder. This is actually the condition in which the brain has difficulty in receiving and responding to information that comes through the senses. So when you talk about the senses, you're looking at the sense of touch, the eyes, the ears, the sense of smell, sense of taste. So that's actually when you have senses. So it's actually as a result of oversensitivity or undersensitivity. So this child can actually come in a place when it's over. They look at light. They can actually see light. They can actually see colors. So when they're coming into their environment, normal light, the way we have fluorescent, the bulb, is actually for illumination for you to see. That light is actually an issue for the child. So the child, most of them prefer to be in a dark place. So when it's actually under sensitivity, so they like to be in a dark place. Or maybe when it's over, you see the child looking at the light, like, what is that thing up there? So they want to see that thing there. So you see a child now, normally, if you hear the sound of a fan, you understand, it's just normal, it's the sound of a fan. But because it's actually over, so they can actually, the way the fan is rotating and is making noise is actually disrupting them. That is actually why you find some children, they do what we call ear muffing. they're in an environment. So because of the maybe in a crowd, in a large crowd, to them they're earmuffing, they're covering their ears. So what are they doing? They're trying to block off sounds. So it's actually overloading to them. So they can actually, so most of these children, they can actually pick sound. Yes, you think they cannot hear, they can actually pick sound. So let's assume you've been calling this child. The child is actually in front of you and you're calling the child. You've called and called the child's name, no response. Just on maybe if it's for a child who is actually been exposed to screen, just on a cartoon, the child is that even if you're in a room and you're on a cartoon, the child will trace the voice. We have the disabilities that we call chromosome disorder. So what does chromosome disorder? It's actually when a child have an excess chromosome. When you have an excess chromosome, so it can result to what we call Down syndrome children. So if you heard about Down syndrome children, it's actually because they are called Down syndrome because they have an excess chromosome. So I think we have about 28 chromosomes, but some of them actually have like 30 or 29. You understand? So it's like more than expected chromosomes. So it leads Down syndrome, and it comes with some congenital issues like hole in the heart. So you see them develop hole in the heart, or the ones we call hydrocephalus. Those children, their head is actually big, and is that actually as a result of fluid in their head. You understand? It's a fluid in their head or issue with their spinal cord. Now, some of these disorders can actually disorder or this disability can actually be noticed. Some of these children you can actually notice this kind of disorder from 3 months, 2 months, maybe let's say 24 months. That was 1 year. As the child is developing, you can actually notice it from 3 months, 2 years. So that's 24 months or maybe up to 3 years. And so what happened? So you hear parents say, he or she was talking when they were actually a baby. They were echoing, they were saying words, they were blabbing, they were talking. What happened? All of a sudden, the words vanished. So we have what we call regression. You understand? So the child can actually recognize people, but all of a sudden, it actually went and every skills they learned, they forgot it. It actually regressed. The child actually regressed. Now, these are actually the kind of. Then we have what we call the ones we call cerebral palsy. These are the child growing up. We call them the imbecile and other, but their actual name is cerebral palsy. So it's actually as a result of the issues with developmental. Let's assume a prolonged labor. Yes, where there is a prolonged labor for when the mother is pregnant and there is a prolonged labor. So it actually affects part of their brain and it affects their motors, their muscles. You understand? So you see these children, they actually born and down to 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, they are not walking. Their bones are weak or slack. So they are not crawling, they cannot move any of their body. Their neck is still like a baby neck. You understand? So these are actually the issues. Now, as a parent, what do you do when you notice this kind of behaviors or maybe this kind of disorders with your child? What do you do? It's not the right. It's not the when you notice this thing. The best thing to do is not to keep quiet. You need to speak up. Look out for professional help, professional advice. Now, you need to actually look out for the child pediatrician. Ask questions. Look at what I have noticed. Discuss the issues that you have noticed, the things that you have actually noticed that you think are not there, the child is not actually meeting up. Discuss with them. Don't keep quiet. I've worked with parents that said, okay, that they noticed this thing when they were actually quite small, but I felt or I thought I can actually outgrow it, and then they kept the child 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, 6 years, 7 years before looking for intervention. No, look out for professional help. You understand? So the more you keep them, you're endangering those children's life, and you're endangering your life too, because you'll be worried and all that. So you need to consult your pediatrician and express your concern. Now, early intervention is the key. Yes, early intervention. So once you notice anything and you have seek out for advice, early intervention is the key. So oftentimes the children that I've worked with in my 10 years of experience, what has actually worked for us is that these parents actually speak up. So they speak up when the children are actually 3 months, when they're actually 1 year, when they're actually 2 years. So you see them receiving the right intervention, so that when they get to 5 years, yes, there must have been some improvement in their developmental milestones and all that. Then another thing is acceptance. You know, most times in this part of our country, I've met with parents who they said, no, this can't be my child. No, they refuse to accept, even when the child has been diagnosed and they say this is autism, or this is Down syndrome, or this is cerebral palsy. They were actually in denial. So they would tend to deny, like, no, this is not my child. God forbid, they cannot be actually my child, you know, that kind of a thing. So you need to accept, because you have actually seek out for help and you've been told, you've been told the situation, or been revealed what is actually wrong. You need to accept it. And then when you accept, is actually when you're going to look out for right intervention. Then you need to educate yourself. So don't just be there. Read up. What do you need to read up? Read up developmental milestones. Ask yourself, at one point the developmental milestone had to do with the level of children's development at different stages. So you have from 0 to 3 months, there are expected milestones. You understand? So when the child is not meeting up to that expected milestone at that period, you need to speak up. So if by 1 year, all the milestones that the child is actually supposed to acquire, the child is not meeting up, you need to speak up. You understand? So read up and actually get knowledge about that, so that even if you're getting intervention and the child is actually being into therapy, you won't be aloof. So you won't be in the dark, not knowing the type of intervention that is actually going on, or maybe the plan that is going on. So you need to create supportive environment. So when you look at supportive environment, so you need to, your environment has to be actually conducive for them to learn. You understand? So you need to help this child. So, like I always tell my parents, this therapy of intervention shouldn't be one-sided. You understand? So because you have actually seen intervention, then you're not left for the therapist working for your child. No. Now it's actually in fact, everybody around that child is actually involved. You understand? So the parents is working, the therapists are working, the siblings are working. In fact, everybody that is surrounding that child has to be on their toes, working with the child, helping the child to come out of this and all that. So where the environment is not actually conducive for them, is going to be, in fact, there won't be quick results, or quick results like the way we want it. Then you need to follow up. You need to follow up on the child's progress. Don't just leave it there and say they're actually working. And so if you're not following up, that's actually where you come back to say, there is no improvement. They said I kept it under your care, no improvement, because you're not following up. If you're actually following up, you'll be able to know actually what they are doing. Follow up with assignment, follow with whatever thing they gave you to do and all that. So I want to end up with this. Now, remember that early intervention is key in addressing developmental delays. So taking actions promptly can help your child's development and well-being. So seek out for early intervention and don't keep quiet. Always speak up. Thank you so much.
Wow, 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 wow. Wow, what do we say? What do we say? What do we say? This is amazing. I saw a question here. I saw a question. Precious, thank you so much. You said a lot of things. In fact, this 10 minutes is too small. What do you people think? This 10 minutes is too small for this kind of thing, because information is very, very important. Information is very important. I need to pick on some of the things you said. But first of all, look at this question on the screen. It said, what's the difference between strong-willed children that refuse to obey and children with a disorder that refuse to obey? How do you know which one is really
Okay,
the child?
okay, and children with a disorder that refuse to obey. Now, if we come to children with disorder, like I tell my parents, when we are working with these children, there are rules. You understand? So now these
No,
children
she's
work
saying,
with
how do you
rules.
identify that this child that is stubborn has a disorder and this one is normal child, is just normal stubbornness?
No, now
Did you get?
okay, that you have a disorder. No, okay, now I've actually read that the characteristics, what you need to look out for in children that are that have impairment, to children who have that have issues. Now, look, like I said, not all children have issues. Now, for this question, you need to ask yourself, how old is this child? You understand? So typical from zero, let's
Hello?
say from 1 year to 3 years or 4 years,
Hello,
toddlers.
Precious.
You understand? Yes, ma'am. Can you hear
Hello, can you hear me?
me? Hear you?
Okay. Okay, go ahead.
Now, these children, you know that toddlers naturally are strong-willed children. You understand? So you can actually tell a toddler to sit down here, and the toddler will want to question why you want me to sit down here. So they are always on the go, exploring their environment. You understand? So, but you need to teach this child teach this child, especially when this child can actually listen to you and can actually hear you. There is no issue with the child. You understand? So you need to teach this child that you need to sit down and then reinforce. So when this child actually sit down, even if it's for 2 minutes, always reinforce. You understand? Now, for our children with disorder, what has actually worked for us and what that actually worked for them is that there are rules and routines for them. You understand? So we have already set out routines and rules for them. So we know that after this is this, after this is that. So most of them, they're always at the goal. So if they finish this thing and you're not giving them what they want, you understand, they'll fail to flare up. Tantrums comes in. So they will not want to do any other thing because yes, I have done this one you want me to do. Even with children with disorder, I have done this one you want me to do, I'm supposed to get this thing. Don't assume they don't know anything. It's actually a disorder, it's not a disease. You understand? It's actually a disorder that this child has. So to some extent they are learning. You understand? So don't feel that the child is actually. So what you need to do is lay down rules for these children. If you put in rules and order and spell it out for them, they try to follow, and as they are following up, always reinforce them. You understand? So if you praise a child, it has a way of encouraging them, boosting their morale to want to do good things more for you and all that. Can you hear me, ma'am?
Wow. Yes, yes, yes. We heard you. This is good. For me, there are some certain things that you said. Now, you may not have a child that is a special needs child here, but you know someone that has a child. And I think that's the more reason why some people live in denial, especially Christians. It's not my portion. They don't accept it. And before you know, it gets out of hand. Or there are people who also have these children. They try to take the children away from the crowd. They don't want to go to church if you're a Christian and all of that. But I pray that anyone who
Yes.
probably has, yes, anyone who probably has a child with special needs, for you to know that those children are, like you said, it's not a disease, they are just special. They have needs that are special. Thank you so
Yes.
much. God bless you. Real good. Thank you, Precious. Oh my God. Thank you so
Thank you,
much. This
ma'am.
is very, very enlightening for all of us to know that early intervention is very, very important. Like you said from once you give birth to a child, there are some things you should observe. A child is not able to make eye contact with you. You're talking and it's
Yeah.
like you're talking to another person. So these are things that we need to. God is my portion. No, it is not my portion. It's not a strategy. You know, if anything happens and you happen to know anyone who has a child like that, and they are not actually meeting the developmental milestones, it's something that you need to look at. While we are praying, we're also seeking for professional help.
Professional
Very,
help,
very
yes.
important. God bless you. Thank you so much, Precious. We're going to release
Thank
you
you,
now.
ma'am.
This is so much, yes, so informative. Thank you, thank you. Everybody is saying thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. You see, it was awesome. It's amazing. Yes, thank you, thank you. Thank you. I've learned so much. Okay, we've learned so much. Good evening, everyone. Our next speaker, I need to check our next speaker because we need to run, is oh my god, are you ready? Are we learning anything? Yes, it is not my portion, is not a strategy at all. It is not my portion. Whose portion is it? You know, things happen and sometimes God just needs to help us. Now I can see who is here. Okay, Meremu is here. Okay, I'm going to invite Meremu. I'm bringing you on now. After that, I'll bring on Berechi. Well, I'm trying to follow the schedule so that we can 10 minutes. Okay. Good evening, Meremu. God bless you and welcome. And welcome to the Own Your Mic conference. And we've just been learning. We have learned so much different things. And tonight we do not know what you want to share with us, but you will introduce yourself and tell us in the next 10 minutes what you want to hit us with tonight. And I'm sure that we're going to take something away. You're welcome. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great, Ma.
And you look like somebody who just flew in, from the United States of America into Ghana for this conference.
I love that. Thank you so much, Ma. Thank you. Thank you. I am Meremu Amos. I studied petroleum engineering and I got into business. And along the line, when you are trying to fulfill vision, purpose, you get lost, you just get stuck in your world. And from there, you just started self-discovery. And I found myself in the wellness industry. Okay, good evening, everyone. Good evening, good morning. And anytime you could be watching this, I want to appreciate our host, our mentor. In fact, she's an answered prayer to me. And I know to many of us here, she has been amazing. Pastor Favor, I love you. We love you. Thank you for this rare privilege. And I'm privileged to be on this platform. Own Your Mic. Just as it sounds, own your mic. It speaks about you. It speaks about me. It speaks about many women out there. Own your mic. If you could own your mic, that means you are a voice. Our mentor keeps telling us we are a voice. Your voice must be heard. Today, I'm going to dive into our lives a bit, likely where we've been neglecting for so long. For those already in it, kudos to you. I'll be talking of self-care. We've had many beautiful models. In fact, we all have assignments to rewatch and rewatch. Most of us have missed. Most of us, we give ourselves, that thing called excuse. It's been following us for years. It has followed us into this platform. But for us to be here, that means we really want a change in our lives. We really want a transformation. You know, you've been offering for years, you've been getting peanuts out of your life. You have decided for that change. And that's why we are here. Some of us have never done this. If they tell you to do it, and now some of us will dodge last minute. But this is to tell you God is interested in your life. So self-care. What is self-care? Self-care. This talks about you. This talks about me. So self-care is anything that you do to keep yourself mentally, emotionally, physically, socially, and spiritually healthy. When you look at these words, mentally, emotionally, physically, socially, spiritually, this sums up to one person, you. This is just like the anatomy of the body. We have various organs. We have the respiratory, we have the lymphatic, we have the cardiovascular, we have the circulatory, digestive, name it. When one gets faulty, it affects the body. When we talk of self-care, how many of us actually sit down to take care of ourselves? We are powerhouses. God has engraved us with multitasking. We wake up in the morning, sharp, sharp, sharp. We are programmed our day. We move. How many of us really come back to service the body, which is the engine? When I talk of self-care is vast. It's very vast. It's a topic that in 10 minutes, I cannot finish. But I'll try to go into aspects we need to go back after this night and not to think, not to say I will, not to say tomorrow. All those words, you will drop them this night. You will tell yourself, I'm a powerhouse. So that powerhouse must be service. I must pamper myself. I must reward myself for every step I take. That is self-care. When you look at these big words I used, you can start little. Like in the skin industry, I'm privileged to be there. Now, there are some products you must use to make the other ones you use that you think you've been using things to work better. That's why we have things like micropeeling. Sorry, these are all self-care. So I'm trying to make us understand. We have things like exfoliations to exfoliate the skin. You know, this now enables when you apply your moisturizer, your serums to work better. To tell you that even the skin has its own self-care. Now, most of us could be in sectors you don't have time. What do I mean that you don't have time? You could be working overtime, long hours, and all they expect from you is productivity. Nobody cares whether the machine breaks down, which is you. So if you don't take the bull by the horn, that I have to make this a priority, I have to start taking care of myself in the busy schedule, my kids, my family life, my business life, my social life, and all that. I need to take care of myself. Nobody will do it for you. In your busy schedule, if you are to break down, everything gets on hold. Nothing works. So you need to tell yourself, I cannot just be functioning without maintenance. I cannot just be moving without checking if things are in place. When I started self-care, I started first by working on my weight. You know, I told myself I needed some changes, I needed some transformation. And the reward was lovely. The compliments I received was beautiful. I now told myself I need to do more. Then my body started failing me in the sense that was when I knew the benefits of taking supplements. I now dived into that. You see, it is a step. I dived into it. I started taking supplements. The supplements now started working on the inside and started radiating better outside. So I told myself, there's more to this thing. See, tell yourself there is more to you. When you start self-care, you will produce better results. You will be a better version of yourself day in and day in, day out, you know. So now some benefits of self-care. It improves our physical health. I was already talking about that. Now, some of us wake up tired. Why do we wake up tired? Various reasons. But when you have started practicing self-care, if you are one that has to hit the gym, you will see yourself. The energy. Oh, gym has a lot of benefits. Exercising has a lot of benefits. You need to start baby step. Now I'm talking of our physical. This has a lot that it can go deep into your spiritual state. See, my sisters, when we are overweight, it affects us spiritually. Most of us, let's be frank with ourselves, we need to pray certain time. We cannot stand up to pray. Why? Because of our weight. You know, you cannot lie to yourself. There are some things you want to do. You tell yourself you are weighty, you're weighty, I won't say heavy, because of the extra. You would look at yourself and you'll be condemning yourself. See, tonight, anything you know you don't like about you, let me tell you, you have the power to change it. Anything from henceforth, don't look at that mirror and whoever you are seeing that you don't like, change it. I'm not talking about weight. It can go across a lot of things. It enhances our mental and emotional health. It reduces stress, anxieties, and symptoms of depression. This can still be attributed to exercise. Oh, yes, exercise does a lot. It clears your head. You see that 30 minutes you have decided to give yourself to do road walk around your compound. That time you just want to do one sharp moves. Let it be that, let me do 15 minutes. You don't know what you've done to yourself. These are seeds you sow into your life for the future. It increases your productivity and focus. See, once the head cannot function, there is nothing about you that can function properly. That's why when you wake up tired, you have already transmitted it in your body, I'm tired. So everything shuts down. It helps in better relationships. When you are mentally stable, when you are physically fit, that is where it will even boost to the next point, your self-confidence. See, sometimes you can be big, but you are very smart. It's still self-care. I'm not saying we should all be size 10, 8, no, now. We know that God programmed us for different sizes. You know what you desire, you know what you want to weigh. So I'm not talking of being overweight in a negative context. No, I'm trying to tell us how we want ourselves. Some of us will look at pictures and remember, in those days, which in those days, that's you. If you want to go get back there, you can do it. It's self-discipline, determination. It helps you to show up at your best. See, when you are sound, you shake nuts. See, even when you don't have what to say, don't worry yourself. As long as you are mentally sharp, let them give you platform. You'll be amazed. That is, you self will be surprising yourself. Why? Because you are functioning at your best. See, we need to take care of ourselves. Seriously. That's part of why we came to this mentorship program, because you have decided to take care of yourself, your mental side, your productivity. Now, the self-care, nobody can help you do that more than you doing it for yourself. It's a self thing. As I said earlier, start with baby steps. Don't just say, imagine you go to the gym, you want to carry 10 kg, 15 kg one day. You can start with your body weight. That is how self-care is. Start from baby steps. Just like the skin illustration I used, you want to start skin products, you start from a level. You won't go for the big brands overnight without even knowing what they really do, the percentage this is to carry. You don't even have that knowledge. You can't just go to the shelf and pick because you said, okay, I want to start taking care of my routine. This is no. You start baby steps. See, I always tell people, if the snail could enter the ark, that means we all have space now. We all have space. So you should do things at your pace. See, you can fall, but you're not permitted to stay on the ground. So while doing self-care, you can come across a lot of hurdles. See, what you can do, that hurdle will not bounce you back. Look for a way around that hurdle and cross it. That is self-care. If now we want to go into the exercise parts of self-care, you have to start. And we start with that decision. You have to tell yourself, I am starting now. Carry your kaya, carry whatever you need to wear, enter, hit the road. Excuses equals to no calories. It does not burn anything. It does not change anything. If you keep making on excuses from today till tomorrow, what you left will just be looking at you. You will not be productive. If you are used to complaining, the year will end, you keep complaining. So when you start the self-care, self-maintenance, self-love, you will see that you will radiate what is inside of you outside. That is where you now know that this race, I have a vision. Because when you don't have vision, you will run other people's races. That is why they will find you in their lanes. But when you now start taking care of yourself, you will now see why you have to wake up. In fact, morning itself will not catch you. That is, you are already hitting it. Because why? Your production, your productive level is in check. It prevents burnout. A state of physically and mentally, emotionally exhausted. This is what most of us suffer day in and day out. Yesterday, we are taught about stress. See, there are some good stress, because stress must come, so it will shake you. You can't be in a state of relaxation. So when those stress comes, that is what you will know what you have been feeding this body. When it comes, what does it hit? It will now hit what is inside, outside. That is where you see, if you are not taking care of yourself, when you have issue, challenges, it tells on you automatically. It cannot change. It doesn't change the facts. See, these things must come. How prepared, how ready you are. is what gives you, guarantees your success. So when you start taking care of yourself, you will see that when things come, people will be, you will not look like what you've been through. We are part of the world that we actually do curative instead of preventive. So it's when something has come, we start running around. No, it's wrong. Sometimes give yourself, just appreciate nature. Take some walk, evening strolls. Sometimes have somebody you can talk to, relate. A neutral person, no bad energy. Be around that circle. All this helps us. Socially, interactions, relationships we've built over the years. Physically, give yourself spa treatment. There are a lot of benefits of massage. I'm not going into that tonight. If I do that, we wouldn't have enough time. I believe we will have other times where we could have something to share. Some things we face in our bodies, just go and lie down on a massage bed. And you will see magic. That 1 hour that you decided to just give yourself. I told you, reward yourself. Little efforts you have made, as long as there is progress, you deserve to reward yourself. Go there, do a massage, pamper yourself, be that baby girl. Lie down, let somebody take care of you. You take care of people. Who takes care of you? If you don't make out time to take care of yourself, your body will burn out with time. You take care of your kids, you take care of your husband, you take care of extended families, and the list goes on and on. Who takes care of you? Oh, I'm this, I'm that, I'm this, I'm that. When you come back, your body tells you. Please, I want us this night. That is why I came down to that. I didn't want to use terms. I just wanted to talk to us about self-care. Reward yourself. Start like that. Start bit by bit. Gradually, you will get there. Don't look at yourself and tell yourself you're not good enough. See, you have the power. Anything you don't like about yourself, you have the power to change it.
Hey, can somebody breathe again? Woo! It's hot. This place is very hot.
So I don't want us to remain the way we put goals. So self-care must enter. Every one of us. Self must enter. Because the powerhouse needs to be maintained. It needs to be serviced. So when we are writing our books and they are coming for book launchings, they will be seeing hot chicks, hot women. And they'll be like, how old is she again? You said she's what? No, it's not possible. Yes, because why? You started investing in yourself.
Wow,
I need us to
we don't have all the time. Wow.
I need us to radiate what is inside out. That lady God has endowed in you to radiate. And you'll be getting the best version of yourself part-time. Wow. I believe I didn't go even up to 1/4 of my notes, but
no, we are going to have an entire 45 to 1 minute session. I'm going to give you to teach this, because are you people seeing that we're discovering a lot of powerful speakers here? This is amazing. This your energy. I will drag you. I will not allow you. Oh my God. Somebody saying massage straight. Somebody want to go and take a massage now.
Yes, that's the spirit. That's the spirit. And you need to come and tell us how you felt on the platform. We need to know. So somebody else will follow you. Tell us the one you did, the massage you did, and how you felt. Give us feedbacks.
The massage, the powerhouse needs to be maintained. And the truth is, if I ask now, how many of you have ever had a pedicure before in your life since you were born? How many times? How many of you have ever done facials? How many of you have ever done massage? You understand? So we don't have all the time, but I tell you, this is just amazing. I'm sure that some people are thinking, you'll be like, because your powerhouse, you are the one making the money. You are working so hard. But sometimes, to really, in fact, you are going to take us through beauty, skin routine. Not now. I'm going to arrange it in the night. What Robin, because like you said, you are an example of what's happening on your inside, radiating on your outside. It's amazing. Thank you so much. Time is so short, but thank you so much. This has stirred up something. Dr. Joy said that you have finally scattered the table. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. This is amazing. God bless you, real good. Oh my God. I'll just let you go now because the next speaker is on standby. Thank you so much. Bless you. We're sure. How many of you believe we should bring her back? Hey, I'm discovering plenty speakers. If we want to do international conference, why would I go and be looking for a speaker from Lagos? The speakers are here. The speakers are here. Kai, thank you so much. God bless you.
God bless you too. Thank you.
Yes. Oh my God, this is amazing. This is amazing. Oh Jesus, this is amazing. I'm just so blown away by this. Okay, so our next speaker, Eberechi. Eberechi, are you ready? Eberechi, I'm bringing you on right now. You introduce yourself and you share with us, what God has put in your heart. Some persons, I know the network today has just been very funny. The network, Eberechi, are you here? The network has been very funny. The network has been very funny, especially MTN today, because I have like two persons who have not been able to access the back end. So I don't know whether anyone is here so that I can bring you on. Oh, okay, Tochukwu is here. I need to look at, the network keeps kicking people out. The network keeps kicking people out. Okay, so I think Tochi is here. Which I can't see you. Can you hear me? Tochi, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. I don't know, the network is bad.
Yeah,
I can hear you.
bad.
The network is bad. I don't know. Can you hear me?
Use the word challenging. Challenging. Use the word. The network is challenging. I don't want to hear the word bad. It's challenging, so that we can challenge it back.
It's too challenging though since afternoon.
Okay, so is this something you're able to do?
I don't know whether you can hear me now.
We can hear you.
I don't know. Can you hear me? Can you see me? Okay. Although I'm using two devices. One is about 10 minutes behind, so I can't even use that one.
So I'm actually, oh my God, I have to, what's this? No, I can't. So you're using how many devices? Because I can't seem to, what's happening?
Hello, ma. Can you see me? Can you hear me? Can't hear anything.
But I can hear you.
Okay, you can hear me now.
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay. Okay. It's like the feedback is coming some seconds later. Hello.
I think if you want to speak, you can speak. At least it's stable now. Before you were breaking, but it's better now.
Okay. Who am I speaking with, please? Is everybody hearing me? Mama, can you hear me? Can you see me?
I don't.
Hello.
So we can't actually hear her, and I think she's having a challenge. Eberechi is not here. Eberechi, you're supposed to be here, but you're not here right now. So we're actually just going to close the network. The network is very. Eberechi is not here, and I've said it. Anyone who misses it um, will not be able to reschedule. Will not be able to reschedule. So I'm trying to check. Sorry, the network is challenging today. So this is where we actually draw the curtain for today, because we can't hear anyone. The network is actually bad. So this is where we draw the curtain. I want to say a very big thank you to all of you who joined. I'd like you to go and meditate on what our last speaker said. So today we're just able to take, I think it was just 2 persons, right? It was just 2 persons that were able to take. The network is just funny. Thank you so much, all of you, and have a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful night rest. Good night, everyone.